Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good afternoon. Today we're going to continue on the application layer lecture. So I already discussed on the HTTP and FTP and also what's the difference between both of the protocol. And today I'm going to discuss on the SMTP, which is used in electronic mail in the internet. So what is SMTP? Is a simple mail transfer protocol in application layer. So basically there are three major components. First is user agent, second is mail servers, and third is the protocol itself, which is SMTP. So we look at the user agent first. So what is user agent? It is what we call is mail reader. For example, our mail browser, Gmail, Yahoo Mail, and Outlook. Those are the example of the mail reader which we can use to compose, to edit, to read mail or messages. So it use outgoing and incoming message stored on the server. If you look at the picture on your right side here, is the diagram of multiple mail server connected to the user agent. So mail server, we can, for example, is Gmail or Yahoo. So the communication between the servers of Gmail or Yahoo Mail is using SMTP protocol. So let's look into the next slide. So we will discuss on the mail servers. So mail servers is a mailbox contain incoming message for user. So everything that you send or receive, the mail sent or received will be stored in the mail server. So the SMTP protocol is used to communicate or to send data and receive data from server to the server. So for the transfer email message from client to server, it uses TCP, Transmission Control Protocol. And there are three phases of transfer, which is first, they will use handshaking for greeting. Second is the transfer of messages. And lastly is to close the data communication. And the command and response used are using ASCII text, and the response is using status code and phrase. So let's look into this scenario where Siti here wants to send an email to Ishaq. So Siti is using Gmail to compose a message, and it will send the message to Ishaq with email address ishaq@yahoo.com. So Siti Gmail send message to his mail server, which is the Gmail server, the number 3 here, and message placed in the message queue. So client side of SMTP open TCP connection with Ishaq mail server. So they will open a TCP connection between Gmail and Yahoo Mail server, and it will transmit the message from Gmail to Yahoo Mail. And then Ishaq mail server place the message in the Ishaq mailbox, and if Ishaq will invoke his user agent to read the message. For example, Ishaq need to open the Yahoo Mail web browser to check or read the message from Siti. So what's the difference between the HTTP and SMTP? So first, HTTP is a pull protocol, which is you need to pull the information from the server so that you can access the information. However, for SMTP is a push protocol where the sending mail server, for example, Gmail server that Siti use is what we call push the file or the information to the receiving mail server, which is the Yahoo server. So other than that, SMTP require each message include the body of message to be in 7-bit ASCII format, while HTTP data is not imposed to this restriction. Okay, so this is the general mail message format. So basically there are header and body. So header, usually the information that inside the header is to where destination and source and also the subject, and the body is the message and is in the ASCII character only. So to send information from sender mail server to receiver's mail server, we're using SMTP. How about the user getting the or reading the mail from the mail server? So basically it uses access protocol, and here we're going to discuss 3 of it. First is POP, Post Office Protocol, IMAP, Internet Mail Access Protocol, and lastly HTTP. So HTTP nowadays is using this kind of protocol. So first we're going to the POP3 is the version 3, the latest version. So POP3 is an extremely simple mail access protocol. Functionality is rather limited. With the TCP connection established, POP3 progresses through 3 phases. So first is authorization. So the user will send the username and password. Second is transaction. The user retrieve the message, and lastly update, which is the end of the session. So that's all. It's really simple. You log in, you retrieve the message, and you log out. However, with IMAP access, you can create mail folder and move the downloaded message into the folder. You can then delete the message, move the message across the folder, and search the message. So this is more complicated and advanced from the POP3. And then the latest and the current is the currently used mostly by the mail server like Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail is using the HTTP access protocol. It uses web browser, and user communicate with its remote mailbox via HTTP. So the user need only be able to access a browser in order to send and receive message, and the function is more advanced from the IMAP. You can create folder, you can delete, you can move the message to the folder, you can save the draft, and lots of things using HTTP access protocol. So we already discussed HTTP, SMTP, and FTP. So I believe that you already know the difference and the similarity of those protocols. So now I want you to look into the DNS, domain name server, and basically how it works. So you can scan this QR code and watch the video. On top of that, I would like you to study also the proxy server. What is the proxy server? So you can also scan the QR code and watch the video in YouTube. And lastly, I would like you to look at the web cookies. What is web cookies? So all these 3 is related to the application layer. And I would like you, and I hope that you can learn something from this. And I think that's all for today. And this is the last for the application layer, chapter 2, for the chapter 2. So for next week, we're going to look into the chapter 3, which is the transport layer. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum.